Hi, I'm Bill Newcott, and along with the rest of the world, I'm here in the beautiful city of Toronto, Canada, for the Toronto International Film Festival. And welcome to the first episode of the Movies for the Rest of Us video blog. Welcome to Toronto's magnificent Union Station. This year, Canada celebrates its 150th anniversary, and the British Empire held on to India considerably longer than that. In fact, it was 1947 that Britain finally turned India back over to the Indian people. A new movie called Viceroy's House commemorates that period and the political intrigue that surrounded it, and it stars the delightful Hugh Bonneville of Downton Abbey.
I am to be the last Viceroy of India, and I shall carry out the role with great pride.
Longtime Downton Abbey patriarch Hugh Bonneville and X-Files star Gillian Anderson played Lord and Lady Mountbatten in Viceroy's House, the true story of how Britain handed the colony of India back to its own people in 1947. Directed by Indian filmmaker Gurunda Chadha, Viceroy's House is a sumptuous vision of India in the 1940s. It traces the high-level political intrigue that accompanied the transfer, as well as the brewing hostilities between India's Hindu and Muslim communities. For Bonneville, the role of one of Britain's most beloved political figures is a pleasant change of pace after having most recently starred in the family fantasy film Paddington.
Oh, yes, that is good.
The last time we spoke, you were in a movie talking with an animated bear, and now this.
How times have changed.
You must enjoy mixing things up like that, don't you?
I do. I really do, actually, and I feel very, very lucky that producers and directors allow me to, play a man who's trying to make seismic decisions about the future of a nation 1 minute, and the next minute eating marmalade in a film about a bear.
Have you ever spent time in India before?
I was backpacking, as so many youngsters do when they leave school, and I absolutely loved it. Of all the countries I'd visited in my life, this was the one I was really looking forward to revisiting, because the sights and the sounds and the smells and the contradictions and the social struggles and the opulence and the poverty, it's such a cauldron that it's intoxicating, and I couldn't wait to go back, and so it was a wonderful chance to revisit, and I'm now, even just thinking about it now, I'm itching to go back again.
That's funny. I interviewed most of the cast members of Marigold Hotel, and they split right down the middle. But some said, "Oh, I can't wait to get back to India," and others said, "Yeah, that was India. I'm fine with that now."
Oh, goodness me! I loved it.
And then there's the Viceroy's House. That's 340 rooms. That's a big joint, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah, that's a lot of carpeting. Yeah. We didn't actually film in the actual building, because that obviously is government house these days. We filmed in Jodhpur in the Maharaja's palace, which is a pretty magnificent building in its own right. May not have that quite as many number of rooms, but it's got quite a few.
And they all make Downton Abbey look like a summer cottage.
Exactly. Yeah. Trailer trash. Yeah, the Crawleys were just trailer trash compared to the British in India.
It's about now that Pa usually fetches his gun.
Viceroy's House, starring Hugh Bonneville and Gillian Anderson, is in theaters. The Royal York Hotel has been Toronto's hotel of choice since 1929. For over 100 years, New York's hotel of choice has been the Plaza, and a new book celebrates that hotel's unique relationship and love affair with Hollywood.
See, there's $200 worth of cocktail frankfurters getting cold downstairs.
Now, from the producer of The Odd Couple and the director of Love Story, comes Neil Simon's biggest Broadway comedy hit, Plaza Suite.
For more than 100 years, the Plaza Hotel has stood at the southeast corner of New York's Central Park as one of the world's premier addresses. Besides serving as the base of New York operations for scores of celebrities, politicians, and world leaders over the years, the Plaza has also been a featured player in dozens of movies. Now a new book traces the hotel's long love affair with Hollywood. Starring the Plaza is a lavishly illustrated volume stocked with great movie stills and candid shots of Hollywood legends making themselves home at the Plaza. The text by Patty Farmer provides a fast-paced running commentary of the Plaza's century in the spotlight, and a foreword by Mitzi Gaynor captures the bubbling essence of the Plaza's enduring appeal.
Excuse me, where's the lobby?
Down the hall and to the left.
Thanks.
The University of Toronto is one of North America's great schools, and like most great schools, it's a place where students learn how to live out their ideals. Those of us old enough to have gone to college in the late 60s and early 70s remember the great campus boycotts of California grapes. And a new documentary focuses on an unsung heroine of that turbulent era.
Dolores is an icon.
She's a civil rights hero.
She's the first general that I followed into war.
She's not afraid to speak truth to power.
Dolores Huerta, who is an old friend of mine.
Those of us who were college students in the 1960s and early 70s will remember when campus activists kept urging us to boycott grapes in support of California farm workers. Actually, more problematic for many of us was their insistence that we boycott California wine, which was the only stuff most of us could afford. In any case, those boycotts were organized on behalf of the United Farm Workers, headed by Cesar Chavez and as his right-hand woman, Dolores Huerta. Somehow, it's Chavez who has endured as the symbol of the farm workers movement, but a revealing new documentary, Dolores, shows that Huerta was every bit as influential as Chavez, and in fact, the hard-working mother of 11 children was the one who made political connections that ensured the long-term success of the campaign. I spoke with Dolores, now 88, about why now's the time to tell Dolores' story. Hi, Dolores.
Hi.
As I'm watching the movie, it occurs to me that, with social media today, you can raise a boycott overnight. But it must have been much, much harder in the 60s and 70s to get national recognition of what was going on. Was that a problem?
Yeah, it was very, very hard. And luckily, we had some really good allies like Lloyd Steinem, Ted Kennedy, national figures that were able to get the word out there for us. It took a year and a half.
I almost feel like, if your drama were to unfold today, I almost feel like you would have been the media darling and Caesar would have been the supporting guy.
But the thing is, when you're doing that kind of work, you're not doing it to get media attention. You're doing it just to get the grapes out of the stores. So you're not really thinking of that.
Would you want your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren to make similar sacrifices?
Well, probably not to the extent that I did. Hopefully, one someday we will have early childhood care and early childhood education for all of our children, so that more women can get involved in civic life. We've got to get engaged and find out what's happening politically. Obviously, you have to have persistence, determination, and reach out to people to help you, that you can make it happen.
Dolores is in theaters now. A lot of people don't know that here in Toronto, the actress Mary Pickford was born in 1893. By the time she started making movies in New York and then in California, she was known as America's sweetheart. Almost no one had any clue that she was actually North America's sweetheart.